Hola y'all, welcome back to Sunday Meal Prep. And I have a special treat for you today. It's my Crunchy Crab Sushi Bowl. Let's take a look at our ingredients. You will need green onion, seaweed sheets, avocado, cucumber, yum yum sauce, sriracha, everything but bagel seasoning, crispy onions, imitation crab, and riced cauliflower. Of course, truthfully, the riced cauliflower is just optional. If you are looking to put real sushi rice in there, it's delicious, or no rice at all is perfect as well. I love this recipe because it's really an assembly method. There is no cooking, which makes it super simple. As you can see here, I'm just taking that imitation crab, 1 cup of imitation crab per bowl, and I'm just shredding it with my fingers. My daughter and I and my dad are actually huge sushi fans. So when I came across these sushi bowls, we were all three excited. It literally takes minutes to put together, and like I said, you don't have to worry about cooking anything, and you're going to store it in the fridge. It tastes delicious at room temperature. It tastes really good right out of the fridge, cold. And that makes it extra appealing as a meal prep item for people who do not have access to a microwave on their lunch break or a stove or an oven. My dad would be a great example of this because he does manual labor. He's a backhoe driver, so he's on the side of the road literally every single day, and I am making these for him. So it's perfect for his lunchbox. He just makes sure to keep an ice pack in there to keep it chilled, and then when he gets a moment to stop, he can just pull it out and immediately eat it. Now you're going to see me add 1 tablespoon of yum yum sauce, but I actually came back and added a 2nd tablespoon of yum yum sauce because it needed it. I did not want the sushi bowl to be dry in any way, and so I needed to come back and add another tablespoon of that. This change, of course, is reflected in the recipe, so no worries, but I wanted you to know what was going on in the video so that it wasn't confusing. I'm just giving the crab and that sauce a good mix because I want to make sure it's completely covered, and now I am adding the riced cauliflower. And I'm actually adding this straight to the bowl from the freezer. It really hasn't thawed out that much, so there might be a little extra moisture. I wasn't worried or concerned about that because, again, we are going to make sure that it's not dry. But in my intro, I did mention that you could totally leave this ingredient out. If you don't like riced cauliflower and you're trying to watch the carbs, this recipe is delicious with no rice component at all. And if you don't want to use the riced cauliflower as a rice substitute and you don't want to leave the rice out, there is a great product at Walmart, and it is sticky sushi rice in the ethnic section. You just pop it in the microwave for 1 minute and it's ready to go. I've used that as well. The next thing I'm going to add is some cucumber. This is like my favorite ingredient in the bowl because it really brightens up all of those flavors. That sauce is a lot like mayonnaise, and so you have that heaviness, and then also the crab is delicious, but it's very sweet, that imitation crab. So something like cucumber really brightens up all the flavors, and it brings a freshness to the sushi bowl that's going to be sitting in your fridge for a couple of days at least. If it were up to me, I would have put a ton of cucumber in here, but I do have a couple of people who are not crazy about it, namely my daughter, so I went sparingly. The next thing we're going to add is some avocado. Now, avocado is fantastic. It is a wonderful fat. You should not be afraid of it, but it is very high in calories, so I didn't add a ton of it. That can actually be reflected in the recipe. You'll see that it's not a lot, but there's enough avocado in there that you'll get a bite every now and then of that creaminess. All right, it's time to sprinkle on the everything but bagel seasoning. Now, this seasoning is very salty, so you have to be kind of careful with it. I like all the seeds and the crunchies in it. There's some green onion, by the way, and I'm going to do a drizzle of sriracha. But back to that seasoning. So I like the crunchies and the seeds. So I actually bought sesame seeds separately so that I could sprinkle those on top and not be afraid of accidentally adding too much salt. Look at that bowl. Look how beautiful. Okay, here are the sheets of seaweed, and there are the crispy onions, and they're actually flavored, if you could see that in the video. I'm not going to put those 2 ingredients inside of our sushi bowl. I'm actually going to put them in these cute little jars and keep them separate. There's going to be 2 tablespoons of those crispy pepper flavored onions, I think. And then I crumbled up 3 sheets of the seaweed and put it in the same jar. By keeping it away from the sushi bowl, we're going to make sure that it doesn't get soggy and lose its crunchiness. And the only reason why I did a little bit of soy sauce separately is because it's salty too. I hope you guys make it and you enjoy it, and make sure to come back next Sunday for another meal prep.